we are facing a crisis. When you're facing a crisis, it's sometimes people react in different ways. When we are not prepared, the normal thing is to freeze in front of a crisis. I want us to look at how to deal with this kind of crisis, and more important, to look at a formula of dealing with crises like this going forward. Let's see this quote. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. No. But those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Be prepared for this, my good friends. That we must unlearn some of the things we have been doing. The technology of the past cannot solve the problems of the present and the future. Can we relearn again? And I thank you most sincerely for coming for this session today, because it tells me you are prepared to learn new things, challenge some of the things that you have learned in the past. But learning has to be, scientific, or better still, has to be the kind of learning that solves problems now and in the future. I think those of you from the education sector, and I know many of people in the room are in education, you remember these E's. We apply them in an environment like this. Okay? We can think about learning, but this time it's this crisis management. Okay? Crisis management. And I want to go through each one of them. When we engage, what are we talking about? The key element in engaging is to understand the problem we are facing. Dissect it, challenge it, understand its characteristics, know the various components of that problem. Not just to summarize everything that we are facing financial crisis. It's not just finance, there are many things. So we are not want to engage all stakeholders in framing and get the right frame of the problem. Debts, salaries, overhead, reputation, remote teaching, and so on. Let's look at the pattern of the problem. Can we understand how it looks like? So that we know how to attack it. If it is a problem of finance, and we look at the projections of cash flow to see what are the challenges each week, each day, each month, and how do each of the challenges manifest themselves. Salary is monthly, so rent can be quarterly or monthly perhaps. Some things are more challenging on a daily basis, like the teaching. Please remember, you are anxious. You're anxious because you're facing a crisis. It's very important to try relax a little and understand how does the problem look like. Short term, mid term, long term. Now, as you're looking at that, you understand what is it within your abilities to solve. There are policy issues here that come in. Right? Now, I don't think you're going to solve the policy issue on your own. You might need perhaps to engage with your association, engage with the ministry to solve policy issues, although they affect you right now. Dwelling so much on how do I solve the policy issue is not going to solve your problem, because that's not the short term, that's not the immediate problem. I'm not saying it's not important, please don't take me wrong. I mean, you got to understand what I do now and what do I wait that can be done later. What do I do myself? What do I do with others? Let us understand how things look like the next 6 months, 3 months. Focus the revenues. Okay, look at the various effects that might happen. Okay, look at the range of scenarios that are related to these. Okay. Now, my friends, I think this has been hammered many times over and over again. And guess what? There is no easier way of putting it. You have to reduce spending. It's the same thing as looking at the next 6 months. What can we do now? What can we do later? Okay? What can be deferred, right? Capital expenditure may not be the best thing to do now, unless you really had prepared the resources. We are ready for that. And you know that the rest of the cash flows are going to be affected. Okay? So you might need to look at that. Number 2, explore the crisis now. Exploring the crisis here means what? Plan, prioritize, so that you are able to act. What first, what second, and so on and so forth. If you have money today, what needs to be paid first? If you have to get the money today, what needs to be paid second? So on and so forth. So that you don't pay one and then you realize you have a challenge of something more, but then the money is already gone. Prioritize and plan. When you look at the evolution from the blackboard and chalk, okay, to many others, whiteboards, PowerPoints, web-based learning, video conferencing, wireless, innovative teaching technology. Now we are talking about learning management systems, the Moodles, the Google Classrooms, and so on and so forth. I know there are certain challenges. Are they going to work? Are they work in our environment? I want to tell you something. They may be challenging us, right? You are not alone if you're seeing a challenge. You're not alone. We are many who are being challenged. All these are challenges, but challenges have solutions. There is a saying that obstacles are the things that you see when you remove your sight from the objective. So my friends, you can see how far we are going. Yes, I know there will be some challenge, but people will have to understand. I mean, adjust. I think I have learned a lot about this kind of technology the last 3 months, much more than okay. Now we have phase 3, explain what you have decided and how it will work. Then commit to action. In a crisis, inaction always makes the problem worse. Okay? We are not saying that you do anything, not anything. Remember the first to understand the problem, look at the alternatives available for you, select the most appropriate under the circumstance, short-term, mid-term, and long. So this is the point I'm saying, communicate. Use the various tools way of communicating, whatever is most appropriate for you and the audience that. Okay? Execute. Okay? You decided on it, do it and measure it. You decided on it, do it and measure it. Okay? In action, as I said earlier. And don't wait to do tomorrow what ought to be done today. It's only going to become worse tomorrow. You know the problem, you evaluated the alternatives, you communicated what you're going to do, now do it. Okay? As you do it, be prepared. You may not get everything right. That's the nature of life. Some things may not go right. That's why you want to measure, because there will be another level of trying to find out what works. Use a metric that can help you understand what's going on. Evaluate, learn, and adopt efforts, as well as your leadership. As this new information comes and feedback comes. It's a simple thing to think about. We learned from that experience. What worked? What did not work? Why did it work? Why did it not work? So that if we find ourselves in a crisis like this coming forward in future, how then can we apply the knowledge of today to solve a crisis? Do you have a contingent? If plan A fails, then what? What do you plan? Okay? Either way. I know everybody wants something positive. Everybody wants positive outcome. I wish there's a vaccine tomorrow and we all get it by Saturday, by Sunday, and by Monday we open school. I wish that can happen. But you know what happens if wishes were horses? So can we start thinking of what else do we need to teach? Okay? And as parents, I'm also a parent. Sometimes I wish my kids can learn something else, not just passing exam. Learn to be themselves. Learn who they are. Learn to manage themselves, self-management. A curriculum I notice is not very well expounded in given times. I wish even now people could be using technology to train them. By the way, don't be surprised. There are many of us parents, we need to learn how to do parenting. And I think teachers are a very good place, right, to help us train this kind of thing. Put people first by establishing strong relationships. Let them know you are interested in them, even if you are not able to do anything at the moment. Let them know that you trust them. Let them know that what you do is transparent. I'm talking about students, I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about the parents, all kinds of stakeholders. Let them know you have a relationship with each one of them, one-on-one. You believe in them. You need to extend this by thinking, for example, one is saying, I understand one of the problems. How do you get fees? People are not paying fees, right? And then I see different style people are using, and this is just sharing ideas also, that, you know what? If you call a parent meeting of all parents and ask them, now we need you to pay fees because we are running Zoom. Ask them that you got to understand a better approach. A thinking, I'm saying it, not saying it's perfect. I can help, different people with different level of problem. You provide solution them in different ways. Think about the working environment. Take care of your people. It is not going to be very good news if people here or in your school there were all this number of COVID cases because somebody didn't clean up or somebody didn't sanitize or somebody didn't wear a mask when they're coming in and so on. Be pragmatic with technology. Technology can be very mesmerizing, okay? And how do you solve? Remember, you can't just throw technology to like give them some basic training that is important for them to understand the use of the technology and so on. For example, right now, you notice one of the concerns parents will have is, okay, so I give my child a phone. What do I expose my child to? Okay, so my child may go to all these other kind of sites, and I'm thinking my child is reading. Right now, we need to understand, therefore, how do we help in this? How do we lock those kind of areas? How do we monitor those kind of areas? And how do we talk with the kids? Because it is not just physical controls. We also need to go to the mental control and understand how to improve their understanding of themselves, the world they're in, the challenges that they are facing.